Welcome back, guys, to some more F1 League Racing. I'm back. It's been a while, but we are back on it. And to be fair, even though I've been away on YouTube, I've not been away completely. I've been streaming all my league races on Twitch, which I'll leave down below, guys, in the description. I stream my races every Sunday and every Thursday, so go over there, check those out around 8 to 9 p.m, give or take, or 7 to 8 p.m. in the UK. And I'm racing currently in 2 different leagues, so of course you guys are well aware and already know about AOR. I've also done a few reserve appearances in RRL, but also the brand new league I've signed up for is the new PC split for PSGL. So that league is going to be the toughest one I've ever competed in. It's got the most competitive grid I've ever seen, and this is going to be the ultimate test in terms of if I can compete with the big boys of F1 league racing. So I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of big plans for league racing in the future, guys. It's going to be a staple on my channel for this entire year. I'm loving league racing. It's, you know, the thing that's really giving me a big challenge and the most excitement at the minute. So I'm really looking forward to doing this and seeing how it goes. So yeah, anyway, that aside, I wanted to mention that briefly at the start of today's episode, but let's get back on track and let's refocus. So today we are here for the return of AOR. It's the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, and I can't wait to get started, guys. Before we get underway, I want to mention real quick, if you're new to the channel, get subscribed for more frequent league racing content. I've also got plans to start a brand new career mode in February with the Williams, so stay tuned for that. And I've got some big stuff up my sleeve, so get subscribed, guys. We recently hit 55k, which was my target for the end of 2020, and this year I want to absolutely smash it out the park. So any new people watching the channel, guys, hit the red subscribe button. It really helps me out. And if you're going to enjoy this video, leave a like and some comments, give me some feedback. But yeah, without further ado, enough waffle, and let's get the Italian Grand Prix underway. Now, before we jump into this, I want to quickly mention, guys, of course, this footage, as always, I've downloaded this directly from my Twitch stream. Also worth noting that I do have some changes planned, which I have really done in real time, but of course this is pre-recorded footage in terms of my stream overload, so things will change over the next few videos. Hopefully, guys, look forward to that. But yeah, here we are then in qualifying in Monza. Now, for this track, it was really tricky for me. It's a track where you run very low drag, therefore you need a lot of finesse through the corners around here because of the low downforce. And I was not fully on pace. The practice wasn't enough that I did, wish I'd done a bit more. But also I was struggling to convert that into actual pace in an online game mode. Now, you can see here I'm on my second time lap. We set a pretty decent middle sector actually, and we're about 3/10 up. We then cut all the way out the final corner of Parabolica, and we improved by near enough half a second, so a big improvement, but we only go P4, which was quite surprising. A purple middle and final sector, but my first sector is letting me down. On my third run, you can see there I made a bit of a mistake through the second Lesmo, and that was going to hurt me quite badly, so that would pretty much put an end to this run, and for good measure I cut into Ascari, so game over on that one. But we now move on to my final time lap, and my big thing around here was the first corner. I was really struggling to nail down that first chicane on a qualifying lap, which was where I was leaving a lot of time. Potentially, I'd say at least 2/10 of a second I was leaving on the table, and I just couldn't quite get it right. I'd either brake too early or brake too late and not quite get the turning on point. Here we go, though, once again, braking at the 100-meter board, braking just a bit too late, so I didn't really attack the first curb. Therefore, we get a bit of oversteer because we actually tapped the curb instead of going all over it. And I did gain a bit of time, but it should have been about another 10th, at least 10th and a half more than that. We then end the first sector. You can see in the top left we are about a 10th down, which is a bit of a shame, and the kind of time I'm giving away. We nail the chicane though at turns 4 and 5, and we are 2/10 up almost, heading into the first Lesmo, which we find a bit more time, a little bit of oversteer though, but we managed to control it. Then second Lesmo, we absolutely now get a really sweet exit, and we're now almost 2.5 tenths up at the end of the second sector, and right in the mix here, fastest of all through there, as we now tip the car into Ascari. Didn't quite attack the first curb enough, but still, a decent enough line that we gain a fraction more time. And this is it then. It's all about Parabolica. We need to go full commitment into here, give it everything. 50-meter board, down to 5th gear, trying to pick up the apex without running too wide, and then bringing the car quickly back over to the right-hand side for the shortest run to the line. We didn't really nail Parabolica, lost a bit of time through there, but still, we go P2, 2/10 off the pace of Andy, who is on provisional pole, and that is how things actually ended in qualifying. So we managed to somehow sneak a front row when I was way off the pace, and crucially we outscore my main title rival, and crucially we out-qualify my main title rival Paris in the Red Bull. So a really good session for us. And Donator, or Andy, was really fast. Could I have beaten his lap? Maybe. I think if I had absolutely nailed the first sector with a perfect turn 1 and turn 2, and then also I gave away a bit of time in Parabolica, maybe I could have got there, but generally speaking, a 0.7 was, you know, the max for me in that session, you know, without really getting a clean lap in. So I'm not going to complain. I'll take that. Decent enough. 12 drivers here today, and that is it for qualifying. We're now going to move, though, into the race, and we're going to see if we can try and make that a full 25 points and a race win here today. Now, before we jump into the race, if you guys are new to what the AOR League is about nowadays, due to a reduced attendance, we have a new rule in place, which means you get a free, you know, pass in qualifying to qualify on the soft tyres and do as many laps as you want. We then open a new lobby and start the race on a free set of tyres. So you get to pick between softs and mediums, pretty similar to F1 Esports. That way it means everyone qualifies. Here we go, though, getting ready for the 5 red lights here at Monza, and it's going to be lights out and away we go. We actually get a great launch off the line, brilliant traction getting past Andy straight away, but Paris also gets a brilliant start in the Red Bull, and he moves up to P2. We're 3 wide into turn 1. Paris around the outside. I'm going to try and hang on there, but I get pushed off onto the grass and onto the gravel there, and I'm going to lose a bunch of places as we move down to P6 as my teammate Florian gets alongside us, and I'm going to let him just edge ahead. We've got Norbert Jakob as well, trying to get involved in the Alpha Tauri as we head into the chicane here of turn 4 and 5 for the first time. I'm going to go around the outside of the Alpha to try and hang on to this place, but I can't quite make it stick. Luckily, the exit is pretty good, and we hold on to P6, but unfortunately, such a good start down the toilet as we got pushed onto the grass there by Paris. Unfortunately, we're going to have to try and work as we get a big bit of oversteer there out of the second Lesmo. I thought I'd go for the move on Josh here in front of us in the racing point, but I decided against it. I felt like I was a bit flustered, a little bit hot under the collar, another mistake there into Ascari, and we also get a warning for track limits, and now Warren put me under pressure here. I was all over the place. You know, that mistake at the first corner, or that incident, you know, left me a bit flustered. I was not in the right headspace, so instead of being, you know, over the top, aggressive and too hot, I tried to cool down, stay calm, try and find a bit of a rhythm, and that's what we did. So we settled into the race as we go into lap number 3 now. We've got Christian Sendel in the fray behind us on soft tyres, so he's going to have the edge on pace early on here, and I decided to not fight him. You know, I'm assuming he's going to be quicker than us. He's going to try and go for the move here into the first corner. I tried to hold on the brakes, but he's got a lot more pace. A little bit of a nudge pushing me out wide as well for good measure, and I have to concede the place and let that one go. So we're down to P7. Moving on to lap 4, though, Josh has a 3-second time penalty in the racing point, and then Christian Sendel loses the back end out of Ascari, and that's going to give us P6. So he has a bit of an oversteer moment, and that gives us our previous position once again. We've got Warren still behind us, and at this point now, I'm working with my teammate, Florian Napik, and in this video, you're going to see an example of teamwork a bit later on of how to make things, you know, work in league races. But basically, I was using my teammate, so he was struggling for pace a little bit, had a 3-second time penalty, so I was trying to pick up my pace and get within DRS range of Josh, because DRS is so powerful around here. So you can see we now just about get it on lap 7, and we get back in the mix, and this is exactly where we want to be. Now, over the next couple of laps, there's going to be a bit of battling here and there as we get a big bit of oversteer through there. But the plan is simple, really. We're going to work together to try and get me ahead of Josh, and then hopefully the two of us can work and try and gain a bit of time and move forward as we get a second warning for track limits. So yeah, we're going to try and execute that strategy as best as we can. Now, here we are, lap 9. We're approaching, you know, pit stops pretty soon, as we switch on to softs for the second stint of this race. And I'm a lot quicker, you know, I've got a lot more pace than both of these guys. I feel like I can get by, but unfortunately the DRS effect, you know, is just really powerful, so it's quite hard to make any kind of inroads on the straight. Nonetheless, though, we're going to see here Josh going for a bit of a move on Florian. My engine's overheating slightly, so I'm not at full straight line speed. You can see here Florian under pressure from the racing point. I'm going to sit back and wait, see if we get a bit of an opening, which we do get, but I get compromised on the exit there. Josh parking his car quite nicely on the apex of turn 2, which doesn't allow me to get the switch back. But look at this, though. I'm going to use ERS and get the straight line speed on him, get the run. Josh realizes, he responds using some ERS of his own. I'm going to give him a bit of a bait and a bit of a dummy down the inside, but he doesn't quite, you know, bite. And for now, things will remain unchanged. But now, this is it. So teamwork comes into effect here. You're going to hear mine and Florian's voices for the next few laps as you hear us work together here. So I'm going to make this move on Josh, and once this move is done, you can see he's got no ERS, so we're going to make this move easily. Me and Florian are going to try and work together to break the slipstream and pull out a 1 second gap to the cars behind and try and improve our race. So here we go. Enjoy the audio. I'll be back very soon.
Oh, nice.
Just rock my gearbox though.
Take me if you have those.
That's okay, I'll wait till the back straight. Okay, we'll do it now. I've got a bit of space behind.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
I've got no ERS, but I'll try and drag you anyway. Oh.
I think something happens behind. I think Brown is spun maybe.
Okay. Try and get back past me. We'll try and drop Josh.
You want to try that?
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
Okay.
I'll go to the right, you go, just drain everything.
Yep.
Yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good.
Don't miss my brake point here.
Okay, I think we've dropped him. Keep going, you're in a good pace.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
You dropped me there. Okay, we've got the gap, so this is perfect, just keep going.
Yep. You want to keep trading positions or?
Not this time because I messed up. Just keep pulling me.
Rain apparently only in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's too long. Yeah, he's got DRS again. I fucked up, my bad.
No problem.
Just gonna drain the battery a little bit. There we go. I want to save, but it's not possible.
That's really bad.
Oh shit, I got penalty. Wow. I'll go.
Yep, go.
I'm gonna drain.
You want to stay in front or?
Get me back on the pit straight.
Okay. Wow, dirty ass really bad.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. Oh, another warning. That's very messy now. Alright, swap it.
Stop here?
Yeah, I'll drain.
Okay. So you want to swap or not?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. I'm not fast enough.
Don't worry about it, it's all good. I'm not close enough, I don't think, so
Yeah, swap on Mansfield.
I'm gonna pick this lap, I think. Unless if you want to pit and give me the slingshot.
I don't want to pit.
Okay, I'll pit.
Yep, I want to go one more.
Right, Andy's up to P6 already. Okay. Good shit.
What has any on? Soft?
Yeah, it's off for Andy.
Okay.
And there we go then. That is it for that little phase of the race. We done a good job. Teamwork was on point. In hindsight, and I said this to Florian, I think he should have pit on this lap because I think he had slightly better pace than me. I would have got the slingshot from the DRS on the pit straight anyway to kind of make up for lost time. But, you know, Florian decided to stay out one more lap. I'm going to go for these soft tyres and try and turn my race around, of course. 3-second time penalty, just like Josh and also Norbert Jakob. But here we go then. Back up to speed, rejoining the track, lap 16. And we are behind Jan Fehler, but crucially, we're ahead of Warren, but not by much. You know, he pit the lap before, so he got a bit of an undercut on us. But now, lap 16, Norbert Jakob, Fehler, myself, and Warren all on track, battling for a net P6 at the moment. As we say, purple sector 3, Warren absolutely flying. And there is Florian leaving the pit exit right now. So we've undercut our teammate, of course, and by quite a lot as well, actually. So that just goes to show maybe Florian should have pit, and then I should have stayed out one more lap. Either way, Fehler gets past Norbert Jakob, and we've got places to go, so we're going to try and pick up the pace as we get another warning for track limits. But I'm going to see if I can get past both of these guys, starting off with Norbert Jakob in the Alpha Tauri. We get a nice exit out of there. I'm going to pull to the right to stop my engine from overheating, setting a personal best. And you can see here, we're going to try and have a look, but I've just not got the straight line speed. My engine is overheating, and it's quite difficult to get a move done. But now into turn 1, these two side by side, I'm going to use that to go around the outside of Jan Fehler, but I get boxed in on the exit by Norbert Jakob, unfortunately, and I can't go anywhere. But now we're going to switch to the left, use Fehler as a slipstream, and we're going to get past and also potentially challenge Fehler here into turn 4. We're going to have a little look on the brakes around the outside, but we can't quite make it work. But crucially, we have got past Norbert Jakob, so we've got past one of them. Now we've got to try and get past the McLaren, and you can see Fehler doesn't have a time penalty, so I need to get past and open up the gap. So here we go. Great exit out of Parabolica. Fehler struggling there, a bit loose and a bit wide, and we're going to open the DRS, try not to use any ERS if possible to try and, you know, save as much as we can around here. And now down the inside into turn 1. Fehler doesn't defend. We're going to pick up the line and make a nice, easy and straightforward move there as we move up into P5 in this race, with Brownie in P4 yet to pit. So we then cut onto lap 20. You can see Fehler is keeping up with me. He's about 8 tenths behind us. I'm trying to break the DRS as we set a personal best. We then move on to lap 21, and we've caught up to Brownie, who's done the whole race so far on the hard compound tyres, and we're going to try and get by. And this is my chance. I'm going to try and use Brownie as a way to break the 1 second barrier to Fehler behind me. So as you can see, I wasn't quite close enough into the first corner to really get the move done. You know, the rain is now starting to fall as well around here. There was a bit of rain expected, and we're now going to get a really nice exit out of there using the soft tyres, of course, and Brownie's hard tyres at this stage were hurting. I'm going to pass in right now though, because I don't want to get held through the middle sector. So you can see here, we're going to go to the outside. Brownie doesn't defend. He lets us go by, and we move up to P4 in this race. So job done, lovely jubbly. And you can see now Brownie's going to hold up Fehler throughout the entire middle sector. And it worked beautifully. We move on to lap 23. You can see Fehler's 2 seconds behind, and we get a virtual safety car as Warren retires from the race. So that is big for the constructors' standings, because Warren and Paris, of course, are leading the championship, and we are about 10 points behind, I think. So that was a big retirement, and it caused the VSC. The gap to Fehler is 2 seconds, and I'm trying to get that 3 second gap as we get ready for the VSC restart here. You can see in the top left, look at Paris. He gets a drive-through for speeding under VSC, which is massive for the championship. So Warren has DNF'd, and now Paris, who's been a lot quicker than me this race, you know, he has got a drive-through penalty, and on lap 25 he has to serve it, which means we are going to get promoted into a temporary P3, but probably P4, because Fehler is 2.2 behind with 2 laps to go. So you can see there, we do crucially get ahead of Paris. So does Fehler as well, which is great news for us. And somehow we're going to outscore our main championship rival. Norbert Jakob also gets ahead of him, but we then come to lap 27. You can see I'm trying my hardest to get ahead of Jan Fehler, trying to get a 3 second gap, but he's just got enough pace to hold on. 2.6 seconds. The rain is really falling down at this stage. Now the track is really wet, and we're just trying to get it to the end. Andy picks up the win, but he gets a penalty, so Scrippy is going to win it here today. And Mercedes 1-2, but you can see here the gap across the line is 2.7 seconds. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get the podium, but we finished in P4, and somehow we outscored Paris. And in many ways, you could say that was some form of good karma for us after what happened at lap 1, you know, turn 1, when I got pushed off the track and I got sucked into that midfield battle. We somehow ended the race ahead of him. So happy days, really, really strong race from us, you know, considering the circumstances. Unfortunately, I got a time penalty, which I'm not happy about. I try to cut those out of my game whenever I can, but Italy's such a tough track to get it right because, you know, you can pretty much cut and extend at every corner. But looking at the final results, Scrippy picks up his first win of the season ahead of Andanator, so a 1-2 for Mercedes. Failer gets a podium in P3 ahead of myself and Paris. Pano Futes, aka Norbert Jakob, P6 ahead of Josh. Napik, my teammate, in the end finishes P8, and again that undercut really hurt his race. You know, he lost a lot on that one lap, staying out one lap more. Christian Sendel and Krajic's ran out the points, with Brownie out of the points along with Warren. We then move into the Drivers' Championship. We extend our lead to 11 points over Paris, so we do gain a couple of points on him because Paris has been in really good form lately, and he's really cut down my gap, you know, from like 40 points down to 11. So he's been getting really close to us. Failer moves up to 3rd, Brian down to P4. My teammate Florian still in P12, but he overtakes Rainbow, who's in 13th place. And yeah, overall a good day at the office, and you know, we get a bit of breathing room in the Drivers' Championship, and it's pretty much now me versus Paris. You know, with the amount of races left in the championship, it's game on. The gap in the constructors is down to 7 points, so we do claw back a little bit on Red Bull, and hopefully we can try and turn that around the next few races. But for now, that is going to be it, guys, for today's video and for AOR Monza, or AOR Italy. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and the league racing content is back in full effect. I've got more coming very soon, guys. I'm going to be pumping out a couple of races because I need to catch up and get back up to date. So get subscribed and stay tuned for that. Check out the 2 videos on screen, including the previous AOR race, to get up to speed and know what happened around Belgium. But guys, hopefully you enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time for another race. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.